Are you currently in the job market and are you struggling to land a job? Are you getting a lot of rejection emails and are you struggling to land an interview? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then you've come to the right video because today we're going to talk about 10 job search strategies that you can use to help you in your job search and hopefully ultimately lead to you landing your next job. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Akila, and I am a certified career coach. The mission for my channel is to help others uncover a more fulfilling career path and take practical steps to achieving that path. So let's get into today's topic. We're going to be talking about 10 job search strategies that can help you along your career journey. The first thing that you want to do within your job search is ensure that you have established your value proposition. Okay. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I have done a video on personal branding, value proposition, and elevator pitch. I will link those videos in my description. So essentially, your personal brand and your value proposition and your elevator pitch are really just tools to help you to define your value, define what you bring to the table, define what sets you apart from other candidates. And it's very important for you to understand this before you go into the job market, because that's going to inform strategy number two, which is your marketing tools. So the second thing that you want to work on when you're in the job market is you want to redo your resume, your LinkedIn, and your cover letter. These are your three marketing tools. These are the tools that you're going to be using to get in the door. So you want to make sure that these have been revamped and essentially present you well for the role that you're going for. You need to make sure that you're highlighting your value and what you bring to the table within these particular tools. Okay? The third thing that you want to be looking at when you're on your job search is to ensure that you are tapping into your network, your current network. So family, friends, past colleagues, past boss, cousin, auntie, uncles. You want to really be reaching out to everyone that could potentially help you. And don't be afraid to ask for help. However, you want to be strategic with the help that you're asking for, and you want to be clear and you want to be succinct. So when you're reaching out, you want to be using that elevator pitch that we discussed in part one. In strategy one, I should say, you want to be using that to communicate to people in your network who you are, what you bring to the table, what your goal is, and what your ask is. So it can be very clear to them how they can actually help you. You want to be very clear on that, because if they know how they can help you, then they're better able to help you. Now, the reason why you want to tap into your network is because you're more likely to get a job from a referral. Okay. If you are referred for a job, you're more likely to actually get an interview and potentially get the job because you are being referred. Okay. The fourth thing that you want to be looking at is you want to start going out to networking events. So outside of, and in addition to talking to your immediate network, you want to start putting yourself out there and going to networking events. You definitely want to be looking at networking events within your particular profession. But if your profession doesn't have specific networking events, then you want to go out to local networking events within your city, right? This is a great way to meet other professionals, potentially working in companies that you want to work in, or even potential hiring managers, right? So you can meet somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who could connect you to a hiring manager that is actually hiring for your positions. So a lot of roles and a lot of roles are filled via networking events. So you want to make sure that you're getting yourself out there. The fourth, am I at the fourth or the fifth? So the next strategy that you want to employ is you want to start identifying 2 or 3 job boards, whether it's Indeed, Monster, ZipRecruit, and you want to be creating a public profile on these various job boards. The reason why this is important is because essentially there are roles that are not advertised on these job boards, but recruiters are always looking for talent on these job boards. So if you have a public profile listed and searchable, then a recruiter can potentially reach out to you in the event that you match the skill sets that they're looking for. So this is a great way to be proactive and to let your marketing tool work for you without you having to do all the work, right? In addition, using job boards and keeping a public profile is a passive way to stay in the job market. So when you actually get your next role, you should not remove your public profile. You should keep it there and allow recruiters to be able to reach out to you, because you never know when your situation may change and you might have to be in the job market again. But if you are allowed staying passively in the job market, it means that you are remaining open to potential opportunities. Now, when a recruiter reaches out to you, whether or not you have a job, you should always connect with them. Treat it as if it's an actual interview, even though you may not need the job right now. Sell yourself, create that connection with that recruiter so that in the event that your circumstances change in the near future, you have that resource that you can pull on to say, hey, I spoke with you 5 months ago about XYZ role. My circumstances have changed, and I would love to know if you have any opportunities open for me. But because you took the time to meet with them and sell yourself, they already know what your skill sets are. So when you come back to them, they're like, oh, yeah, I remember talking to you. And then that sets you up for success in the event that your circumstances change. Okay. Another thing that you want to do, another strategy you want to employ is you want to sign up with a few recruitment agencies. Now, recruitment agencies are agencies that go out and find talent for companies, right? So, for example, Robert Half, right? You can look up local recruitment agencies within your city, and they will be able to kind of connect you to local jobs. Now, the reason why this is important is because, again, they are doing the heavy lifting. You've put up your profile, you've stated all your skills, all of these things. And when they find a job that matches your skill set, they will reach out to you. Okay, so you're not always doing the heavy lifting. And similar to the job board, it's a passive way to stay in the job market once you actually get a role. So you definitely want to be connecting with recruitment agencies. And you also want to, as I said, when you get in there, you want to build a personal connection with someone at that recruitment agency so that you are top of mind when a role comes up. Okay. Another strategy you want to employ is you want to be reaching out or targeting specific companies that you may want to work at. So let's say you want to work for Amazon. You want to go on the Amazon LinkedIn page. You want to follow them. You want to start connecting with people on LinkedIn from Amazon, right, who might be in your space so that you can, again, build rapport with them. Now, when you connect with them, you want to use an elevator pitch to introduce yourself. Okay, so that they know exactly what it is that you, who are you, what is your goal, what value you bring, and what your ask is, right? And then you can always request to have like virtual coffee chats with them, again, to build rapport so that they can know who you are. So again, in the future, if something comes up, or in the near future, if something comes up, you can always reach out to that person and ask them to refer you for a job. So a lot of the job market, or being effective in the job market, is being able to network. Okay, so networking is very, very important in the current job market. Okay, something else that you need to be doing is you need to be applying. If you are jobless currently, you need to be applying for anywhere between 5 to 10 jobs a week. You need to be ensuring that you are tailoring your resume for these jobs. You cannot use the exact same resume to apply for every single job. you have to make sure that your resume will pass that ATS or AI test where they're scanning your resume for specific keywords. You need to make sure that you are including those keywords in your resumes when you are applying for specific roles. Okay. You want to also keep track of your applications. So, just to kind of give you a bit of a story time, there was one time where I applied for a role. But I think it was like 6 months later, they reached out to me about this role. I had no memory of the role. I didn't know what the job description entailed. And as you can imagine, this was 6 months later. So the job posting was now taken down. And I was very unprepared for that situation because I could not remember applying for this particular role. So you want to keep an Excel sheet or however you want to track it, and keep track of your your applications so that you can refer back to them in the event that someone reaches out to you for an interview.
Final
Okay.
strategy that I want to tell you about is one of the most important strategies. Whenever you are applying for a role, you need to ensure that you are trying to connect with someone in the company about the role. It could be the recruiter who posted the role or the hiring manager for the role. Now, you might be asking, why is this important and how do I do this? Okay, why is this important? It is important for you to be reaching out to someone in the organization because the job market is very competitive. There are hundreds of applicants applying for the exact same role. And this strategy is meant to help you to get some visibility on your LinkedIn profile or your resume, which are your marketing tools. So this is just about getting visibility. It doesn't guarantee that you're going to get the job or even get an interview, but you will get some visibility from someone who is important, or a decision maker on the particular role. So how does it work? Let's say you're applying for a role on LinkedIn, right? And you apply for the role, but you also see who the job poster is, so the recruiter. You can reach out to them using an elevator pitch to introduce yourself and let them know that you've applied for the role and you're interested. Now, I want to point out here that 9 out of 10 times they will not necessarily respond to you. But it doesn't mean that they haven't seen your message, and it doesn't mean that they haven't looked at your profile. It might mean that your marketing tools aren't aligned with what they're looking for, meaning your skill sets aren't aligned with the role, right? And some persons might find it intrusive to be reaching out to recruiters and or hiring managers, but really and truly it's necessary in this particular job market in order for you to get some visibility on your resume or LinkedIn. Okay. Now, another approach is if you're trying to reach out to the hiring manager, sometimes the title for the hiring manager is actually listed in the job description. So in the about section of the job description, it will say you're going to be reporting into the director of communications, for example, right? You can take that job title, go to LinkedIn, go to the company's page, go to their people section and search for that job title. And that will link you to who the hiring manager is. And then you can actually reach out to them using an elevator pitch to let them know that you've applied for the role and you are interested. Again, it will bring some visibility to you. The hiring manager may then take a look at your LinkedIn page, which means that your LinkedIn page needs to be optimized. And then if it looks good, they may very well take a look at your resume. I know that this strategy works because I've personally used it and gotten interviews and even gotten a job. So it's very important to be more assertive and proactive in this job market. It is not okay for you to just apply for a role and just leave it up to the universe, to the ethos, and hope that you get a call back. I'm not saying you won't, right? I am not saying you won't, but just remember there are hundreds of applicants applying for the same role, and you are looking for a way to stand out. Okay, so I would strongly advise that every time you apply for a role that you really, really want, that you try to connect with someone in the company that is a decision maker on who potentially gets that role. Okay, now I'm going to give you a bonus strategy. It is not mandatory, but it is highly recommended. I would suggest that if you are currently without a job and you are actively applying for roles and you are struggling, that you find a certified career coach to work with. They are a great resource to help to support you throughout this time. Um, the challenge with the job market, as I mentioned before, is that it is extremely competitive and there are a lot of nuances in the job market in terms of all the changes that are happening. So, for example, they're using AI, they're using ATS tools to scan your resume, right, before a human even looks at it. If you're applying on LinkedIn and you use Easy Apply, they're essentially comparing your profile to other candidates' profile, and only the top 1% of the best profiles will go to the recruiter for them to review those resumes. So there's a lot of nuances in the job market. It's not just a simple submit your resume and somebody will review it and get back to you. So you will need some extra support, especially if you're currently experiencing challenges. So I would encourage you to find a local career coach, or you could reach out to me and get some additional support on your job search journey. Now, this brings me to the end of my video. So I hope you found those 10 plus 1 job search strategy useful. If you have, please feel free to like, subscribe, and share this content. And come back next week for more career strategies. Thank you.